And having to hunt for a tool every time just isn't ideal. So I don't know if I just need to keep working this pin, or I don't know if I just need to upgrade it to something else altogether. Yes, we have entered the section of the video that is called the minor gripes. Moving rearward along the rifle then, we have our castle nut, but there is actually no included QD on the base plate. And you know what? I think I noticed it's even staked for you Reddit guys that don't know how to torque things. And now some folks may want to upgrade the base plate to include a QD if you and Steven Seagal hang out a lot, but it's easy and only takes a second, so it's not that big of a deal. Hey Wizards, welcome back. Today I have a rifle to show you that I think is just this crazy combination of function and price that makes it one of the, I don't know, maybe one of the absolute best end of the world rifles that I think everyone should own. And that crazy package comes in the rifle I'm showing you today with the IWI Zion SPR featuring the 18-inch barrel. So this is basically the same as the normal IWI Zion, like the regular 16-inch version, but it has some additional velocity to add some range to those metal hugs and kisses. And this may make a lot of folks angry, but in an apocalyptic scenario, having extra range is going to be far more useful because the average person just isn't going to be doing hundreds and hundreds of hours of CQB training. Like a game of chess, each rifle has its pros and cons, and a setup like the Zion SPR can leverage range to make hundreds of hours of CQB training a little bit useless. And if you look at the data, there's a whole lot of like 10.5 and 12.5 inch rifles from the super operators on Reddit, and a longer barrel is kind of that rock to the scissors when those shorter barrels need to be in closer engagement distances. And as annoying as it is to admit, Lucas at T-Rex Arms actually had some good points when he explained how mastering a rifle at range is far easier than the lifelong learning required for CQB and room clearing. And I've previously used our Criterion Core setup for like this SPR roll, but I want to see if the Zion SPR also leverages weight and accuracy in the same way. But before we get to that, let's go thank our sponsor. Today's sponsor for this video is HRT Tactical Gear. The team at HRT provides high-end gear for the military professional or the everyday civilian, from the weight-bearing L-back to the generational leap of the ARC mag pouches. And the ARC belt uses a full Tegra system to just get a crazy lockup between the belt and all the pouches. So big thanks to HRT for providing us with all the ammo we used in today's testing. Oh, and as always, you can use discount code TLDCO if you want to save some money on any of this stuff over at HRTTacticalGear.com. Plus, I heard if you use discount code TLDCO, they will add a fresh wheat tortilla into every order they send to you.
What kind of idiot wants us to put tortillas in every single order? What's next? I don't even want to know. This is ridiculous. Garrett, we're out of tortillas!
Just now I'm thinking about you guys all receiving rotting tortillas in your packages. You know, maybe we don't want to do that. Okay, so no on the tortillas, but the discount code will actually save you a whole bunch of money. And that does lead us into the first thing that I really like about the whole Zion SPR setup, and that's the price point. The SPR version of the Zion comes in at about $1,200, which is almost half the price of my 20-inch Criterion setup. And just looking at it, there's some pretty wild things going on that could make it a perfect rifle for just about everyone, and then also not break the bank. But that's assuming that it has all the accuracy and things that we want to make it fill that SPR role. So let's dig in and find out if it can actually do all those things, and we'll start by looking at the whole rifle head to toe, and then we'll do a series of tests like we did in our piston series. I just gotta find those tests. So let's start with the muzzle device first and then work our way backwards. I'll find it. Looking at the muzzle device, we see the Zion SPR includes a standard A2 birdcage. Nothing special, but it works just fine. Now this is hard to explain, but this muzzle device is actually perfect, as I'd probably throw on something else or actually use a silencer for a setup like this. With so many different QD styles and silencer-specific whatnots, I like that IWI just gave a basic generic birdcage so I can switch it out to whatever I need to use for the specific can that I use. As it's just a standard AR platform, I don't need any special tools to switch it out also like I would have needed with the Carmel. Hopefully after this video also, we can do a whole nother one where we upgrade everything and kind of show it in a more like upgraded configuration with all the doodads and whatnots on it. Moving to the rear, we have our 4150 chrome moly vanadium SOCOM heavy profile 18-inch barrel, chambered in 5.56, that uses a rifle-length gas system that has a 1-in-8 twist. As some history, the 5.56 round was originally designed for a 20-inch barrel, as that cartridge is heavily dependent on velocity. The idea of the 18-inch barrel then is to give some advantages of velocity, while still having added agility in the whole platform by being smaller than a 20-inch barrel. I will say that our team has preferred 223 Wild barrels like over 5.56 just due to some accuracy and some other benefits that you get, but I think it's worthwhile to do a video testing that and see if it actually matters at all. Surrounding the barrel, we have a 17-inch free float handguard. The handguard has M-Lok slots all the way around. Included also is an M-Lok QD that I use to attach in our Bees Combat System heavy profile sling. And this sling is super nice for heavier weapon systems, so you can just carry them easily without having like a 1-inch strap just ripping your neck apart. The handguard also has a built-in ARCA rail along the bottom that has M-Lok slots along the bottom portion also. With the ARCA system, you're able to connect in bipods quickly, adjust position for quicker movement or better accuracy, or connect the whole system seamlessly into a tripod or whatever other mounting solution. Now here with the handguard, things just get wild. You have full M-Lok to connect in all your accessories, and then you have the ARCA connection system to be able to use this in just like tons of different roles. And I know my fudsters out there are really gonna complain about an ARCA rail, but it really shows some smart foresight by IWI to include a system like this that synergizes so well with the SPR role. Like my other fancy long-range setup doesn't have ARCA, I had to use this crappy M-Lok Picatinny adapter. To be honest, I want this whole ARCA rail system on my 20-inch setup, but I probably should just be happy that Aero realized that left people exist in 2024. Having the ARCA rail design structure on the Zion SPR also means the entire system sits extremely flat and stable when placed on a bag, giving the shooter a larger surface area to keep the entire system stable. I'd buy this rifle just for the handguard. It is that good. Moving back to the top of the rail, we see full Picatinny allowing you to connect in all sorts of lights, accessories, or IR illuminators. Don't get too excited, that's the Somo Gear Engall. I zeroed it and I'm just leaving it alone to see what it does after a few videos. We can all check it out later and see if it kept zero, but I have heard good things so far. I put the Primary Arms GLX Athena back on with the PLX cantilever mount, so we have a lightweight package that packs a punch, along with the Valhalla Tactical Rook mount with an offset 509T. As the scope is a 4X, the 1X red dot gives me that close range without having to get something else that sacrifices the eye relief in the distance like, I don't know, like a crappy LPVO does. The Rook mounting system is pretty cool too because you can actually adjust the angle so you can set up for your body type and the way you operate so that you can get it in the right position and not just have it be locked in just like a 45-degree position and have to deal with that. No, I can't switch this mic to the other side because Comtech 6s are stupid. But moving to the lower, we see a standard forged lower with a nice black anodized finish. No frills really here on the controls, as we have a standard mil-spec bolt catch bolt release, mil-spec safety, and mil-spec mag release. And this is something I'd love to upgrade later, but it's just a standard lower, so it doesn't really matter. We can just do it later on in just a couple seconds. To be honest, I actually like it this way, that there are just basic parts that I can upgrade myself, instead of having to pay like an extra $100 for like, I don't know, a Radian selector switch. I do have some CMMG parts sitting around if we want to do a cool upgrade video and we actually make this Ion SPR into an ambi setup. Now, one wild feature that's included at this price point is the IWI 2-stage match trigger. The trigger is a cassette design that gives a super light take up into the wall and then has the smallest bit of creep into a nice short break. The reset travel is short with a nice positive tactile and audible reset. It's just crazy that the Zion SPR has the included 2-stage match trigger and the full ARCA system for like $1,200. We just have to see if the barrel is actually accurate, I suppose. Ugh, don't let me down, IWI, don't let me down. Next, we have the included B5 Systems grip that is designed with the grip angle with distance in mind. The angle is almost vertical to give you better ergonomics and prevent you from torquing the weapon system. Now, I generally do like vertical grips on some of my precision weapon systems like on my Tika, so this B5 Systems grip is just nice to see as it's kind of that head nod from IWI as they really kind of lean into the precision role of this system. Looking at the upper, we see a fairly standard forged upper. It includes an IWI logo etched BCG and mil-spec charging handle. Now, I'm pretty sure that BCG is toolcraft, but you guys let me know down in the comments. I will say though that having a mil-spec charging handle is super annoying, particularly when there's so many good options from like Radian. I think Agency Arms has a cool new one. There's just so many good options out there. I just wish they would have done something else than this. It was definitely obnoxious to use at the range, and it will absolutely be the first part I swap out. I also didn't love the front and rear pins. The front seemed to work fine, but I don't know, I kept needing a tool for the rear pin for some reason. And having to hunt for a tool every time just isn't ideal, so I don't know if I just need to keep working this pin or, I don't know, if I just need to upgrade it to something else altogether. Yes, we have entered the section of the video that is called the minor gripes. Moving rearward along the rifle then, we have our castle nut, but there is actually no included QD on the base plate. And you know what? I think I noticed it's even staked for you Reddit guys that don't know how to torque things. And now some folks may want to upgrade the base plate to include a QD if you and Steven Seagal hang out a lot, but it's easy and only takes a second, so it's not that big of a deal. The stock included is the B5 SOP mod that also has a QD slot for our sling attachment, along with 2 compartments for what I assume are battle hot dogs. If you don't think that these tubes are meant for hot dogs, you are wrong. That's it though, kind of the entire rifle head to toe. And the first thing I will say is that there's some pretty smart choices on the things that are hard to change out, while the things I didn't really like are super easy to change, and I could just take a moment and switch them out to my personal preference. Let's go into some testing though, and some of these may be a little bit silly as we originally designed this for like piston weapon systems, but for the first one, let's do overall shooting feel and recoil. I think I know how this is gonna go. As this is a standard AR platform, there was no noticeable difference. Gas was manageable and recoil was consistent with any other AR platform. Cody also chimed in and said that he felt the Zion SPR felt like any other AR in terms of shootability. So it's a standard AR like we expected, but I would like to switch out the muzzle device and add a can and see what that does for gas and recoil when we change some things up. Moving to our controls testing, the Zion SPR uses no-frills mil-spec, and these are proven and effective, but I would like to upgrade these at a later date. I also want this review to be over so I can put in a new charging handle. All right, next, this is a weird test. This is the mag drop. Why did we do this? Here I had no problems. The mags all fell cleanly and had no issues from PMags to Lancers or whatever. So there's nothing to note here with mags getting stuck, and I think this test was from when we tested some piston weapon systems, as some of them can have different lowers and maybe mags get stuck on those. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's just keep things moving to the trigger test. And here we found that the 2-stage match trigger had a clean and repeatable break that Cody and I both enjoyed. Cody did concur that the trigger itself had a noticeably crisp break and smooth reset. While it's not designed for rapid shots, it was easy to get on the trigger, get on the wall, and make clean shots on target just over and over again. Again, having a match trigger included at this price point is just wild and worth repeating. Moving into accuracy, we used this rifle blindly with our $700 primary arms optic versus our $2,300 Zeiss optic test. And I think it was worth noting how consistent the Zion SPR was in hitting targets. We had to learn some of our ranges and distances, but the accuracy of the barrel allowed us to walk shots right in, and we just rang the 600-yard gong over and over with ease. So for tactical accuracy, it did just fine, but I think following this video, I want to immediately do kind of an accuracy test and compare it against our 20-inch Criterion core setup and kind of see what they both do in terms of, actual MOA. I'll also add this chronograph data. I'm worried it may be a little bit useless until we get more comparisons, but here is the velocity data as recorded from our Garmin Zero C1 Pro. And compared to my 20-inch setup, there was about a 4 mil difference in adjustment once we got out to range. So you do lose a little bit of velocity going from the 20 to the 18, but it was really easy for us to adjust into and then get all our mil markings out to range. In terms of the cool factor test, The IWI Zion SPR looks like a simple black rifle that hides some hidden features with its ARCA rail and its match trigger. It won't jump out at you, but when you recognize these small additions, you're instantly wowed. And in terms of style and function, those people who are looking for an SPR will instantly see how well it leans into that role. In terms of comparative market, the Zion SPR just dominates. The RU makes a similar system, but no ARCA rail, and it's almost triple the price. The Daniel Defense version is the same, more expensive, worse trigger, no ARCA. And the BCM Recce, here we go, Recce! Also has no ARCA rail, has a significantly higher price tag, and what looks like a standard mil-spec trigger. So from a comparative market perspective, the Zion SPR gives you a ton more of those SPR functions that you really want out of an 18-inch barrel. And then it also does it at a significantly lower price. So then, this is going to be a huge mystery to everyone. What are my final thoughts? The IWI Zion 18 SPR just shined for us during our optics test, and we both commented about how consistent the platform performed to give us repeatable shots at distance. The included match trigger, B5 furniture, 18-inch heavy profile barrel, and ARCA system just provides an insane value while leaning hard into the SPR role. I would just leave a little bit in your budget to swap out that horrible charging handle and a better muzzle device. But besides that, it's pretty crazy what you get in this whole package. Now, I will say to stay tuned, though, as we put it head-to-head, like I mentioned, against our Criterion Core setup to see what the Zion SPR can really do. And I'm really excited to see that one, to be honest with you, because I want to see what the Zion SPR can do, like if it can hang with the 20-inch Criterion Core setup and then just be our optics testing platform for all of 2024. But I guess we'll find out. I hope this review of the IWI Zion SPR 18-inch version was useful in your purchasing decisions. I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon members and all of our YouTube members for making this possible, where we can see all these cool guns and show all this ridiculous stuff off to you and hopefully show you some really good purchases that you're going to want to make. And I want to say thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. God, I get so close, so unbelievably close. Comment down below what your favorite 18-inch rifle is. I want to hear about it. All right, everyone, Walsh out. They're literally like doing a circle just above my house, just sharing in the adventures of this IWI Zion SPR. I guess they love it. Oh, the train's here. I was so worried. The planes left, so thank God the trains are here. Do you know how loud that is in my headset, that train? It's so unbelievably loud. Do you want to comment on how much I love the full-on Reddit freak out about staking your castle nuts? You're like, why are they doing that? So they can sit it in their safe and it doesn't come undone? Just torque it properly. Good grief. God, they freak out about it too. I purposely don't stake it just to make them mad. It makes me smile at night. All right, everybody, get out of here.